Welcome to the Solid Switch Podcast. I'm your co-host Julian. I'm here with Latrell. How you doing today, Latrell?
What's up? What's up? I'm doing good, man. I'm blessed. How you doing?
Doing good, man. Just trying to, trying to keep things going. I've been real active this week, but I'm real drained. Had a little basketball game yesterday. Had the ball on the young boys, so I'm doing real good. It's gonna take me some
All
time to bounce back though, but I'm good.
right. You got to your stat line. So what was your points? Your steals?
Yeah.
We need all of it. Your field goal percentage.
Yes, sir. Field goal percentage was terrible, but I had
Uh,
about 8 or 9 points, about 2 steals, um, about 2 blocks, about middle school stats. Middle school stats. So
like all dude ain't played ball in like a decade. So hey, it's not too bad.
exactly. Last time I played basketball was actually in my senior year, 2013, and then last time I actually was on like the team as a baller on the team was 8th grade. I was the man with the plan, rocking 21 like Tim Duncan.
Uh,
But we was not winning like the Spurs. We was losing like we was losing like the current Spurs, and not the ones when Tim Duncan was on the team.
oh man.
Yes, sir.
Hey, at least you got out there, man. You tried. That's the most important part. You tried. You had a good time. You know what I mean? It's like
If that's what you call that.
it just shows you, hey, basketball not an old man game. Once you get to the 3 O's in that time, that frame of life, you gotta hang them up.
Yeah, I definitely had to hang it
Everybody
up.
playing till you 40. Everybody can't be like,
Nah, you can't. It was crazy because I was going up, I was jumping as high as I could, but them young boys jumping higher than me. I was just looking like, what happened? I think I was giving all my energy to jump, and they jumping 10 times higher. I'm like, yeah, it's time to hang it up.
yeah.
That mixed
You're
with
like,
conditioning, I had to gotta hang it up. Yes,
it
sir.
is, man.
Definitely. Hey, so today is gonna be a good episode. Our topic for today is real. It's something that we kind of talked about in our first episode. Kind of tell you guys what we're gonna be talking about the next couple episodes. But today's episode is gonna be focused on my story, and what I mean by my story is gonna be my story is gonna be Trail's story. Super excited to talk about that and to hear a little bit more about who Trail is. Um, Wins, losses, all those different things. And we're super excited just to let our listeners hear your story, your journey, and the steps that you've been taking in life, and what made Trail to the person that he is today. So super excited with that. I hope you're ready for it, Trail. I'm gonna be asking some questions today, so super excited.
Bring them.
Yes, sir.
Any questions? I got like 10 rounds in the chamber. I'm ready.
I got 10 rounds of time. Hopefully, been thinking about it. But definitely, man. So we definitely, before we start getting to like some deep questions, I definitely want to just talk to you about, tell our listeners a little bit about, your childhood, your upbringing, and just tell us about, kind of like where you, like I know you know where you're from, but for our listeners who haven't, heard the podcast before, kind of tell us a little bit about yourself. So I'm gonna kind of
Okay.
leave it at that right there.
All right. So, like Julian said, we kind of like touched on this part, like, my childhood and all that stuff, like in a prior episode, I think one of the first one or twos we did. So I'm not going to be super long with this. So basically, I grew up in Dothan, Alabama, kind of a smaller town from in Alabama, like I said. And growing up, if you would ask me when I was a kid growing up how my childhood was, I'm like, man, it could have been so much better.
Mm.
I never had enough. I always wanted more and more and more. But like as an adult looking back, like I had a pretty decent childhood. As I got older and talked to more people, met more people, and heard their stories and their experience, I learned like, damn, like I had a pretty good childhood. Like I had all my needs taken care of. Like it definitely was, go to school. It's definitely kids wealthier than us, had more things that I didn't have, but I had everything I needed. Like every birthday, I had a birthday party, presents. Every Christmas, I had a Christmas gifts. Um, always had a house. My mom always made sure we were taken care of. She always made sure we had a place to stay. Roof over our head, food in the fridge. Like I never had a day I never ate. I always
Mm.
and that stuff, little stuff like that as a kid, you don't take for granted. But like as an adult, like man, like my mom always made sure we were taken care of. I always had clothes, and I never had to worry about clothes. Like just small stuff, like as a child, take for granted. As an adult, you know how like precious that is, how tough that is to kind of maintain. It's not easy, especially nowadays. Like it's not easy to make sure that you have consistent housing and all
Yeah.
that good stuff, man. So growing up, I definitely had that, but I also had some other things going on too, man. So when I was growing up, I was definitely the kid that like I wasn't even that quiet when I was growing. Like I was thinking back like a couple days ago, like through my like elementary to like I want to say sixth grade, I was pretty like louder person. But
Mm-hmm.
as I got older, as you get in middle school, and you start going through different things and different phases, I kind of mellowed out a lot more, especially when I got to middle school. You start having to worry about more, you have more on your plate. You start worrying
Yeah.
about girls, and how you look, how you dress. In
Yeah.
elementary school, nobody cared.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody was checking for. Nobody was like worrying type of shoes you got on, clothes you got on, and shit. Who you talking to? Who you not talking to? So like just going through that process, man, and trying to find myself as a little kid. I
Mm-hmm.
had no idea what man, and trying to figure out who I am as a person. And it's definitely tough for me because I'm not like the prototypical black person. Like you look at me, you want like, oh yeah, he's definitely a black. You know what I mean? I'm not. I don't fit all the check all the marks of what
You your
being
own
black.
person.
Yeah, I'm my own person. So
Yeah.
growing up, it's kind of difficult. You grow up in like a predominantly black environment, like you're not doing everything they doing. They kind of look at you differently. And
Mm-hmm.
so like that was my reality for a long time. So I'm kind of like it took me a while to really find out, like you said, find my own way and like really accept myself. Because growing up, I couldn't. It was hard because like I like all these different things. Like yeah, I like certain things that most black people do, but I like certain things they don't. I like
Can
certain
you
type
tell
of
us some of
genres.
those things? I'm gonna stop you right there. Can you tell us some of those things? Like
Oh yeah,
music,
so
like are you saying like by music, or are you saying um what type of things are you talking about? Give me some examples of those.
yeah, so like music, like so I like alternative rock music, I like pop music, I like uh old school rock music. I'm trying to think, I like pretty much anything but country. Like I listen to, like that's what I grew up
No,
listening to
no
that. So
chilling on the dirt road.
nah, man. Like when I'm that was things I told myself I would never capitulate to. I
Okay.
feel like I got everything else Nashville had, but like the country music, that ain't me. So,
Yeah.
cowboy boots, all that shit, cowboy hats, nah, that ain't me. But Well, yeah, like music, man. Like how it is. Like it's a black
Yeah.
man. Like we kind of like segregate music. Like you have black music, you have white music. To everybody
Mhm.
else, is just music. To us, like it's black music and white music. So I like a little bit of both. So like I turn on some black music. My mom like, what are you listening to? This ain't what you listen to white music for. I'm like, I feel ashamed. I'll feel ashamed about that. Or like my cousin
Mhm.
was something to say to me about it. Like, oh yeah, I'll turn it off, or I wouldn't even want to play it. I don't feel so ashamed to play. Like you doing
Mhm.
something you feel like it's wrong, but you feel like you still want to do it. In my mind, like I had this internal battle of like things I wanted to do and things I feel like I couldn't do. Like
Mhm.
certain shows I like. So I'm like a big anime fan, so I like that growing up. That was kind of like looked down upon. Even
Mhm.
though now it's kind of like more in style now, like superheroes and comics and stuff. I was into all that stuff, but I also was into sports and like black culture and things like that. So it was like I had my hands in a lot of different pots, but I really didn't know what pot was for me.
Mhm.
And so that was the biggest for me. I feel like it was the biggest hurdle growing up, just trying to figure out who I am and my path in life. And it was a lot of hard. I want to say hard times, but a lot of just internal hard times. Just feeling like,
Yeah.
man, I don't feel like I measured up. I feel like I'm black enough. I didn't feel like I could do enough. I've always felt
Mhm.
like felt like less than. I felt like I had very low insecurity. Outward people all like, oh yeah, you got this, you tall, you this and that, blah, blah,
Mhm.
blah. Sports, but in my mind, I'm like. I suck. I'm trash. I'm like I'm not meeting these expectations I have for myself. So it was a lot of like internal battles I was doing.
Mhm. Do you feel like that played a part into like what you just said about the insecurities of like sports and things like that? So like you not being able to be like the music that you like or act a certain way. Do you feel like that kind of played a part in like you being insecure in certain areas?
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Like I feel like when you're not insecure in any areas of your life, you can't be secure in any areas. You know what I mean? So you have
Yeah.
some one area of your life that you can't accept yourself. You can't accept yourself at all because that's still you. So it's
Mhm.
just like somebody saying, "I love you, but I don't love this about you." You can't really say you love that person. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because that's them. Like so, you basically say, "I love." I'll give myself conditions of how I can like accept myself. So that means I couldn't really fully accept myself. So I never felt fully accepted by anybody because I always felt
Mhm.
like I had to give only this part of me, but I had to hide this other part because they couldn't accept. They were looking at me differently. That's
Yeah.
how I like this type. I watch these
Let
type
me
of shows
let me
now.
ask you a question. Like, what introduced you to like anime, or what introduced you to like different forms of music? Like, was it like an influence? Like you saw some on TV, MTV? Because I know for myself that's some like influenced by like some that came on TV. Was that
Yeah.
what really influenced you to like that type of like anime or like certain types of music or even act a certain way, things like that? What was that influence? Where did that come from?
So that's a good question. So it was really one of my older cousins. He was really big into like that alternative rock stuff and like anime
Mm-hmm.
and all that stuff. So like he was like 5 years older than me. So I'm like 6 or 7. He was like, I don't know, 13, whatever. And so I used to try to hang with all the time. He's my older cousin. And like so
Yeah.
you like anytime we car with him, you turn on some like Fall Out Boy or just those mid 2000 alternative rock songs. So I'm listening to like, oh, I like this. Like, you know what I mean? I ain't never heard it before. And so like I didn't have I didn't have no opinion of it whatsoever, but I liked it. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
every time I was play it, and so that's just over time I kept hearing it and I kept like enjoying it. So I like on my own time I try to find a song to listen to him. The same thing with anime, like he was big into that, and so we was watching. He like put me on to it. I'm like, oh man, it's cool. Like it's like what every young boy like fighting all that crap. You know what I mean? Like so
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh yeah, this dope. Like Dragon Ball Z and all that stuff. So I'm like growing up watching that stuff. So in my mind, it felt normal because that's being around him was just normal because that's what he liked doing. So I kind of like again, I still have my other side, like black, I don't black side, but my side of like more prototypical black things like rap music and things like that. But then I was growing this other side that had a desire to listen to different type of music, like alternative rocks, watch different type of shows.
Mm-hmm. I definitely see that. Well, let me ask you. So, as far as you said, like it had an influence on you from like from your childhood, and it basically, do you feel like that basically made you into the person that you are today? Like, do you feel like those experiences as a child, those experiences of being around that type of music, around your cousin who, kind of has similar interests, made you into the person that you are today? Do you still are you still interested in those? Are you, since like before you said like when you used to listen to that type of music or watch some type of shows, you kind of got bashed for it. Do you feel like as an adult now that, you have the free will and the space to do that? Do you feel that you really embrace that?
So with the first question you asked about, you know, did that kind of influence me? I feel like it did definitely. Like I feel like anything that happens in life kind of makes you the way you are, or
Hmm.
it pretty much blank space when you come to the world. You can see that with your daughter now. Like she's
Yeah.
a blank space. She don't have any likes or dislikes. You know what I mean? The only thing she really wanted like to get fed and sleep.
Hmm.
But like as she get older, have different experience, so she started developing different attraction. So like she might be more attracted to the color pink, or she might be more attracted to this type of food and stuff. So it's just like whatever she was experienced to. So same thing for me. So I have been having an experience. I feel like maybe a better person could make me more well rounded. So I'm not just stuck in a box. I'm not like, and I never like being like that. So I'm not stuck in a box. So I have all these different interests. So I can, communicate and converse with a lot of different more people, like a broader range of people. So sometimes you get around people who can't even have a conversation. I have nothing to talk about for those different interests. Now I could talk to this person, that person, this, and it made it easier to, you know, grow my confidence and all that stuff in my adulthood. But like, yeah, like when I was a kid, now I felt like I was holding back. But
Yeah.
as I got older, now, yeah, like this definitely was a benefit to have all these different interests and
I
not just
like how you
have this
said that.
one. Yeah, just not have this one like stereotypical thing I like doing. Like I only like this type of music, nothing else, or this type of shows, nothing else, or talking to these type of people, no one else. Like that just boxes you in and like you cut off life. I had to realize that like I was having those type of mindsets, like limiting yourself. There's so many different things out there, but you like so trapped in your black and white thinking, it's hard for you to see that. So I
It's
really
like your
feel like it made
surrounding
me more.
has such an influence on like your thinking that you didn't realize like something that bothered you back then would actually make you like a better person and open to other people. Um,
Right,
so I definitely think that's a big thing that like our generation dealt with back then compared to like now. A lot of those things that we might have been made fun of back then actually made us into the person we are today. That openness to talk to people of different race, that openness to talk to different people from different nationalities, different religion, belief, all those different things.
right.
Because as a kid, it was like, oh no, you guys just be this way right here, just this right here. If you're not this way, then you're what they say you're L7, you're
Yeah,
lame. So um
yeah. And then kind of answer your last point about like,
yeah,
do I can I accept myself now? Do I feel free to do that now? Of
yeah,
course, like I had to realize, like, at the end of the day, the only person that I really need to accept me is me. If I accept me,
mm,
then you have no choice to accept me. If you don't, then just don't be around me. You know what I mean? Like I have no control of how you see me, how you view me. If you don't like the music I listen to, that's a you problem. It has nothing to do with it.
mm,
I like it. My intention ain't to make you like it.
Yeah.
Like we have it in common. You like it too, cool. If you don't, that's cool too. Like I'm not here to. My life is not meant to make you happy. That's
Yeah.
something you gotta do. Yeah. I gotta. My happiness come from me. So once I
Mhm.
realized that, like, yeah, I listen to my music all the time. I'll be in my car, whatever mood I'm in. I'm like listening to that type of music. I'll turn it on with you. I don't care if you don't like it. You look at me weird, look at me sideways. Hey, that's a you problem.
Let me
I ain't
ask
got
you.
nothing to do with it.
So I'm gonna go right there. I'm gonna ask you a quick question. Echoing.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm gonna ask you a quick question. So when you were saying, like like you're your own person, you gonna like what you listen to. You gonna listen to your music and have in your car playing. What was something that you would say to your younger self that wasn't confident in the things that they truly liked, the music, those type of things? But also, what would you say to our listeners who are younger, who are kind of experiencing that stuff right now? What would you say to yourself back then, and what would you say to our listeners now who may be going through that right now?
That's a good question. Um, I would definitely tell myself, kind of analyze why you feel like you can't like that. Like, what's really wrong with it? Like a lot of time I feel like I was just going by what everybody else was saying, what I felt like everybody else thought. You know what I mean? It could be just in my mind, like, oh, I think they won't like it, so I can't like it. But it's
Mhm.
just instead of having that, just black and white mindset, like sit down and really analyze, like, what's wrong with like this? You know, what's wrong with me enjoying this? And once I answer that question, then answer, okay, why do I like it? What am I getting out of this? So I can really determine if I even need this in my life. If I don't need it in my life, then I could, take it out. But like if it's something I enjoy, and there's no reason for me not to enjoy it, then what wasn't really wrong with it? If somebody else has a problem with it, it's not on me. So I would just tell myself and the younger viewers, like, you gotta really sit down and self reflect and really get to know yourself. I know that kind of sound kind of vague and out there, but like once you really start doing that, understanding who you are and why you're doing the things you're doing, life get
Mhm.
a whole lot easier. You don't the outside noise becomes a lot less quieter, a lot less easier to manage and navigate because you don't have somebody else telling you how to live your life. You're living the life the way you like.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely want to kind of tap in what you said with doing something that gives you joy. Something as you said back then was like that. Those things gave you joy, but society or the people that you're around, the kids you're around, were like kind of bashing you for having that joy of something that really gave you that excitement, that energy. Um, but also like you said, like reflecting with yourself and actually doing that. That's something that is so it's one thing that is easy for adults, right? It's easy for us
Yeah,
to reflect. It's easy for us to say, okay, these are the things that make me happy. Let me do these things. This is stuff that makes me happy. It's the music that make me happy. All these things, let me do them. But as kids, it's like they have so much on them, and so much, especially nowadays with social media, all those things like that. They have so much that's
right.
being thrown at them. But being able, like you said, being able to reflect at a young age, I feel like if you're able to reflect at a young age, you will be great automatically
Yeah,
because you know yourself young, you know yourself sooner than later.
yeah. Self awareness is key. I feel like it really starts. Like you said, young age, but it really start with your parenting. Like as a kid, they kind of go off what they see. They can, like you said, your environment is so important when you're growing up. So if you have a parent there that's like showing you how to be self-reflective, helping
Mhm.
you understand your emotions, your desires, your reasoning in life, it becomes kind of second nature. You probably do it when realize. You know what I mean? So that's why I try, like, as a dad, father now, like I try to like do that with my daughter. Like, so she having some emotions, she angry, man. I'm like, so what's going on? Why you feel like that? Yeah, she's not gonna understand why. She's like, I don't know, I just do. But like just doing it over time helps her start thinking like, okay, I gotta answer this question eventually. So why am I sad? Why am I really mad? Why am I feel sad right now? So she can start understanding herself more and realize, that she can kind of have more control over emotions. So it's kind of like building a habit over time. But you have to like kids again, like you said, it's gonna be hard for like kids to actually implement this, but it is easier the more you do, especially if you have somebody in your life. So I would definitely say find a role model, somebody you trust that can help you with this, because it's hard to do this alone. Like I'm blessed to have people in my life like you, other friends and family members to kind of help me see some of my blind spots too in my life. Because there's a lot, we all have blind spots. We all have areas in life we just can't really see. Like we kind of tune out to somebody that's bringing it to your attention. Like, dude, why you even doing that? I didn't even think about it like that. You're right. But like, yeah, like I'll definitely say like self awareness is key. But like just having the right people around you that can help you kind of see the areas that you lack in, it helps too.
Yeah, like you said, really having those people pour into you, and really embracing that. I think that's the big thing. You're embracing that person that you are, and those people around you saying like, love the person that you are. That's one thing I do with my little girls. Like, literally, be yourself. Like, have your own things that you're interested in, your own things that you love. And once you do all those things, like, you're a leader. So you won't have to worry about what everybody else is doing. You worry about what you're doing, what you like, how you want to talk, if you want to dance, if you want to sing, and don't be influenced by others, because others are gonna make you feel bad for wanting to dance or wanting to sing or want to, be goofy, all that stuff like that. But that's truly bind to the person that you are. Um, it kind of stick with you for like the rest of your life. So if it starts at a
Right.
young age, that's good.
Exactly, man. I'm glad you brought that up because like I feel like a lot of my stuff came from like I feel like as a kid and young adult and stuff, I always feel like I had to hold back. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I'm
Mm-hmm.
always holding back how I really feel, what I really want to say, what I really want to do, out of fear, insecurity, self doubt, whatever you want to say. Like I always feel like I was holding back. Like I said, I try to do the same with my daughter. Like I try not just because I don't like it, don't mean she shouldn't like it. You know what I mean? It has nothing
Mm-hmm.
to do with it. Like, it's cool. I'm embracing. I'm gonna try my best to understand. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna put you down for liking something different. Seeing the world different, and that's something I had to learn for myself. Like it's okay to be different and see the world different. That's what we're supposed to. We're not supposed to be the same, right? God didn't put us here to be the same exact people, like the same exact things.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll be the right. It'll be just, you know what I mean? It'll make it be pointless. Like, that's how we learn and grow by experiencing different uh, people, different perspectives, and different, you know, ways of living. You know what I mean? So like, just like I don't know, you see behind me, so that's some Buddhist stuff. I'm a Christian, but that doesn't mean I can't learn from this too. Like I can get some knowledge and incorporate that and become a better, increase my faith more. Because now I'm learning because pretty much all the stuff kind of very similar. So I'm learning the same teachers in a different way. So a lot of times, like I said earlier, we get too stuck in like a black and white ways of doing it. It's like, okay, since I'm this, I can't do this, or I can't experience that, or I can't watch this, listen to this. Yes, you have some boundaries here, but you can definitely have more influence in your life to grow and learn from.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you just a well-rounded person.
Yeah, I definitely like. I want to kind of go off what you said, like just having that black and white view of like, oh, it's got to be either this or that. And it's like, no, if you actually like, somebody who truly like buys into the person that they are, you can like you can like all types of music. You can have you can have joy in different forms. And so I you said, like, because all those things you said, the Christianity, the Buddhism, all that stuff, in some way they all like kind of intertwine, in some way. Um, but being able to have an open mind to realize that, instead of being like, oh, it's either this or this, and it's like, no, like, let me have different views of different things. Let me be the person I want to be. And I think that's the biggest thing that we share, is the identity. If you know your identity, you know yourself. Don't worry about what the outside crowd is telling you to do, because if you like within yourself, this is me. This is who I am. I'm not gonna change for anybody. I'm not gonna change for anybody else's views. I'm just gonna be like stay true to myself. Um, so definitely, being true to yourself is a big thing. And speaking of just experiences, um, I want to kind of talk about some joyous experiences. I know you talk about kind of your childhood and things like that. Um, but I also want to talk about some things that you were like very joyous about, or things that like you feel very fulfilled about. Some of those times in your life. Can you share with our listeners just some of those times in your life where you were like joyous or you feel fulfilled?
Okay, definitely number one, birth of my daughter. I feel like that's such a huge thing for me. I know it sounds very cliche, but it's a very big time for me. I grew up without my dad. I guess I should have said that when I'm talking about my childhood. But I grew up without a father, so that's something very important to me to be able to, you know, have opportunity to kind of rewrite some wrongs in my own life, kind of do what my dad could do, be there and be present and available. So that was a very big moment for me, man. I guess another one would be graduating from college. I feel like I was definitely one of the first few people in my family to do that. And I guess we can talk more about like how that whole process went for me, but
Hmm.
it was definitely something I had to work for. It wasn't as easy as I thought it was gonna be. I had to actually decide whether or not I really want to do this or not. I did. I'm glad I did. It opened a lot of doors for me, gave me a lot more opportunities in life. So I'm kind of very thankful for that. I think the last I'm just gonna get three, and then the third one definitely just uh growing, like basically give my life to God, like actually stating, yeah, I want to be a Christian and walk this path, be baptized. Definitely another thing very, eye opening for me, man. It kind of like changed my life in so many different ways.
Hmm.
Like, just looking back from that point now, just how my trajectory, of my life has changed, and how I've changed as a person. So yeah, those three things definitely.
Yo, those definitely some good things. Thank you for sharing those right there. Because those moments are true moments, where it's kind of those moments are real eye openers. And so having something that opens your eyes or something that kind of puts that smile on your face or gives you that hope or gives you like a new opportunity. Um, Definitely want to ask you a question, Trey, because I just thought about this when you were talking. Um, in those moments, you said graduating and things like that. And you said you were one of the first people in your family to graduate from college. Um, Before even getting to those moments, did you actually like did you think about those things before? Like, was there those things like um when you had those things in mind, did you think of things that may like come up that may get in the way of that, or anything that I like to call them like the unexpected things in life? Because a lot of people don't talk about those, of just unexpected things that we never thought would happen to us. Um, was that something that you thought about when you were kind of going through those experiences, or was it more of like you already knew in your head like some there might be some kind of hiccups or unexpected things pop up? You know what I'm trying to say?
Oh yeah, I got you. I got you.
Hmm.
For me, basically the hiccups and things I feel like were getting away with my own fears and doubts of, you know, what if I can't do this, or what if I do this and it turns out I was wrong, or I just wasted my time. Because like I said, we probably get more into this, but like me graduating from college was kind of a difficult part of my life. Being honest, like wasn't the easiest part. Had a lot going on, and I had to really sit back and kind of self reflect, like I talked about earlier, like why I'm doing this and what I really do I even need to do this, and like I
Hmm.
decided. So just going back and understand, like, okay, now it's on me. Like it's a personal decision at this point. What else made me do it? So like, if I fail, it's on me. So just having that in the back of my mind and having those doubts of, uh, if I'm not built for this. What if I can't do this? What if I can't get this degree and do what I got to do in my life? What if I get this degree and it's just it don't change nothing? My life is still the same. That hell is getting worse. You know what I mean? Like the what ifs. I feel like the things that were like holding me back. I guess.
Okay, what if? What about those things that just like I always say, like, I think like for myself, I think about like experiences that just things that popped up on me unexpectedly. And thinking, we live this life. I'm gonna give an example real quick. We live this life where we think everything is gonna be perfect in life, right? As kids, as middle school, high school, we never think about like the things that happen as we become adults. I guess those experiences. Um, and so when those experiences happen to you, what was your kind of thought process of like, okay, do I just give up on life, or do I just give up because this thing happened to me out of nowhere, or do I just keep moving forward? What was your thought process when something like that happened?
I guess for me, man, I would definitely say, looking back, I always been like a relentless person. I feel like God
Yeah.
always has blessed me with that. So I kind of was blessed with that in all the situations. So I wouldn't say it was easy to like get back from that and kind of bounce back, but like
Hmm.
I feel like I had like a leg up on a lot of people. So I can see now like it's tough for some people to do that. For me, it was more like I ain't got no choice. This is my life. You know what I mean? I didn't get come all this way to fail. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it wasn't really a point in my mind or my life where I feel like, yep, I'm done. I could just throw in the towel. Like, nah, I just got to figure it out. Like, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a lot of challenges. But for me, I'm always been a problem. I'm always been a problem solver. So like, I just had to go back to like I had to go back to the drawing board, kind of like self check, see what's going on. What can I do now? And I just went from there.
And let me ask you a question, because you said that. Is that something you feel like you were taught, or do you feel like that just came with like kind of obstacles as a kid or as an adult? Like, how do you think? How did you become that relentless, like you said?
I really feel like it came from like a lot of some of it I feel like it's just innate, just my soul, just who God made me, but also just my family. Like my grandma, she's one of the strongest people I know. Like she just works her butt off, and that's kind of where I got my work ethic from. Just watching her and my mom, granddad, people like that just work. and she just never complained, man. Like she worked 12-hour shifts, come on, work 12-hour shift at night, come on that morning, sleep a couple hours, and she's there, available, taking me this and that. 'Cause, I didn't have my dad growing up, so she was
Mm.
very, present in my life, always there for all my games, anytime I need anything, shoes, clothes, whatever it was, like she was always there. And it just showed me like just showed me how to like, pick up. I don't like the same pick up your bootstrap, but like just how like sometimes you gotta deal with life and keep going. Like she definitely,
I've
looking
never heard
back,
that saying. I never heard that saying, by the way.
pick up, you never heard somebody say you gotta pick up your bootstraps and do it and just get it. You know what I mean? It's like
That sounds like some
old country.
dope. That sounds like some Alabama type stuff right there.
You more damn well. But yeah, man, just like she just instilled that to me, man, just by watching her live a life. I really like conversations, some little kids. Not like she told me, like, yeah, it's just how when life get hard, you just gotta keep going. But like just the way she lived her life, just
Exemplify
seeing her.
that.
Yeah, she exemplified that perfect. Like she was a role model for me, and it showed me like how to just keep going, man. Like even when it's tough, just keep going, keep moving forward.
Do you feel this is cool? You say your dad and everything. Do you feel like you try to exemplify that for your little girl? Kind of the lessons and the things that you learned based on observation.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Like we talked about earlier, I'm trying to be the best dad I can be, and like instill that just confidence in her and self belief in her from a young age, man. But also just be present. Like a lot of times, I make sure when I have her, just to spend time with her, man. Do what she likes. Want to play toys, playing toys. Go to the park, at the park. I get my big ass on the slide. I get my
Yeah.
big ass on the slide.
Yeah.
She paint, color, like whatever she want to do. Because at the end of the day, like she's not gonna be this young forever.
Mhm.
And I don't want to miss on that time just because I got my own yes in life going on. Like I can make time for the things you want to make time for. So she's definitely something very important to me. So I always make sure like I make time to be consistent. Available. It's one thing to be there, but also be present. Available.
Mhm. Definitely. I definitely know we talked about just talked about kind of joyous times. Is there any moments where you had like tough times of just like we talk about joyous times, but do you feel like the tough times that you've been through, if you have any of those, do you feel like those made you into the person that you are today, or do you feel like the joyous times made you into the person you are today?
I definitely say a little bit of both. Probably more the tough. I feel like what they say, pressure build diamonds. So I feel like just going through those and showing like proving to myself I can get through that. Like
Yeah.
why as you go through it, it just seem impossible. Like damn, it's just too much. I don't know if I can deal with it. And once you finally get through and you look back, like damn, I actually did that. You
Hmm.
kind of get confident from that. Like okay, if I got through that, I get through this. Like this is nothing. You know what I mean? Like so I feel like a lot of my failures and losses in life kind of like made me to the man I am now. Like kind of showed me what not to do. Like that's why I don't look at failure as failure. I look at it as like a learning lesson. Like I learned what not to do now. Like so I went through that, didn't work out. Now I know what to do differently next time. You know what I mean? Just like a failed relation. Now you know that's the person you're not supposed to be with, or the type of person you don't want. Like
Hmm.
that's how I felt like a lot with all my failures, well, not failures, just losses in life. And just, I had to learn from it, I had to grow from it. I had to. Sometimes I needed that because I'm very stubborn, very hard headed. So sometimes I had to learn the hard way so I can actually grow from that.
Definitely. What I'm hearing from you is saying that you got wisdom from those things, from those experiences, and definitely just thinking. Well, our listeners, if you have our younger listeners out there, that's the biggest thing is just getting that wisdom with experiences. And sometimes, you don't want to you don't want to go through any bad experiences at all. You just want to have good experiences. But with those bad experiences, they actually give you wisdom that will allow you to turn to the man that you want to be.
Right.
And allow you to build that strength that Trevor was talking about earlier of being relentless. That comes with those experiences. Because I always heard this thing, Trey, I'm gonna kind of just share is like somebody who's never been through anything would may give up on something quicker compared to somebody who's been through a lot of tough times. They will be more determined than the person who hasn't. And so, like I told you earlier, like you kind of shared your childhood, and just those things that you went through in life has made you into the person that you are. And so, like you have a daughter, and I doubt you want her to go through the things that you went through as a child or as a, as an adult. And so, what is some values that you would teach to your little girl, to kind of lead her to where you want her to go, or kind of help direct her to the path that she goes on.
So I would definitely say some of the main points. I would definitely say just having, self love, but just love for others in life in general. You gotta love the moment you in. Like you said earlier about bad moments, but really it's just moments at the end of the day. Like this is a chapter in your life. Things change. Just remembering that like you gotta love who you are and where you are. People you
Hmm.
have in your life. You could have you could be a lot worse. Not saying like, you know what I mean, like your situation, whatever. I feel like I got off topic. But
Oh,
just
no,
having
you
that self love,
good.
love for yourself, man, love for others.
Hmm.
Respect. I would say respect again, self respect, but respect for others. You gotta respect people. Like respect is not given; it's earned in a lot of ways. So to earn that, you gotta give it first. You know what I mean? Like they say receive, you have to give. Same thing. Respect, you have to be able to give it. So I just want to make sure, like, she's a respectful person, that she treats people like people. Don't look down on
Yeah,
anybody just because you don't get on your high horse just because you got a lot going on in your life. Think you better than somebody because you're not. We all just people. You just had it easier route than somebody else. Another one just being kind. Just a lot of times in this world we see kindness as weakness, but it's not. It takes a real strong person to be kind and truly, truly treat people with kindness, and that be who you are, and not just be like a facade or something you're doing to gain something from that person. Like you actually just being kind just for the sake of. So I definitely want to make sure I cultivate that in her. Well, she already has. She's a very just loving, caring little girl, and I definitely love that about her. I want to keep growing that in her. I guess another one would be just having just that ability to be joyful. You know what I mean? Like I know it sounds kind of silly to say, but like that's something like you can learn. It's one of those things that you have to choose joy. It's not something you just have every single day. You have to choose to be joyful.
hmm
Some days you're not gonna have it, but you can still choose to have a joyful, positive day if you choose that, if you want that. And just a reminder that like that's a personal decision you make every single day. You can live with joy. You be the most joyful person, whatever situation the world gives you. You can choose to be joyful.
Definitely, definitely, like how you said, that being that joyful, that positivity, and making that decision every day. That you wake up to do that, and you being able to share that with her and having those values, but also being able to exemplify it as well. It's definitely and definitely that's something with fathers just in general. The presence of a father, he's able to give those values, he's able to exemplify those values, so that when our daughters do get older, one day they may get married. Lord, I don't even want to think about that. But being able to see like the things that you teach her, that's the type of things that she's going to look for in like her future husband, and the
Right.
same thing for my daughters as well. And so you touched on just I know you touched on kind of the values that you have. You talked about kind of your childhood. You talked about kind of middle school. You talked about middle school. Tell me about like how was like, oh my, that thing was loud right there. Tell me about how was high school for you? How was that for you? Did you kind of feel like you had like kind of knew your identity? You kind of knew yourself. You kind of had the crowd you were around. Do you feel like you had those things?
Uh, Probably not. I'll be honest with you. I did a good job of hiding it, but nah, like I was very just insecure, anxious, and never feel like I really truly fit in. So it took me a while to really, I would say, find my crowd. I really found my crowd to like my sophomore year. I met you and our other friends and all that stuff. And then I didn't really truly feel like I found myself, my place until I started playing ball, like football, like became my life during that time. Like that was literally all I focused on, all I cared about was playing ball, trying to get scholarship, whatever it was. Like I was truly just in love with the game of football at
Hmm.
that time. Like, and that's why I'm, very grateful. Like I don't really watch football that much, really keep up with sports or care about sports as much as now. But I'm definitely thankful for that in my life because it gave me just something to ground me in the present moment. Like it gave me something to look forward to, something to enjoy, something to put my all into. You know what I mean? So I had to sit there and be. I'm a person I like put my all to things and push myself. So it gave me the
Hmm.
ability to do that. Grow some discipline, some self confidence. You start making plays, you start feeling yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
Uh, meet some people, new people like you. Like I would never met Julie and went for football. So, like that's something I always cherish because he's one of my best friends. My brother since high school. So like
Hmm.
just having that, the ability to meet those type of people and grow and learn and challenge, push myself, man, and have an opportunity to go, do something that most people in my family haven't done. Go to college, go to a new city. I never been to Nashville or Tennessee at all before, and football allowed me to do that. So I definitely say, like, yes, I had some areas in my life that I was still very insecure and very just mentally you know, behind it. I'm not slow, but like mentally, like behind the eight ball and like a lot of my outlooks in life. But
Mhm.
I did have things, positive things like football and like friends like you and stuff like that going on at the time too.
Do you feel like kind of that stage in your life kind of, like you say, opened up doors for you to go to college? Do you feel like it also kind of gave you a blueprint or kind of set, kind of program something in you to make you like know what hard work looked like?
I would definitely say, like I said, I already knew what hard work. I always been a hard worker. Like
Yeah,
just how I grew up. Like I always had that mindset. Like if I'm gonna do something, I'm my best foot forward.
give you all.
I
Yeah.
just brought, yeah, I just brought that same type of mindset to football. Like, I remember Pee Wee. I was like out there running hard as I could, every play just because I wanted to. You know what I mean? It was just like I said, some of that stuff is just innate. That's just who I am. Like,
Mhm.
and I just what I do. I'm a hard worker. Like, I'm at work. No matter if I like my job or not, I'm there. I'm showing up. I'm gonna do the best I can. And so like I brought the same energy to football, but it definitely kind of honed, like kind of um what's the word? Like kind of like worked on that a little bit more in my life. Kind of made it more like you know made me more aware of that. Like damn, okay. If I really want to get good at football, I got to make sure my work ethic is on point. Because I'm behind the eight ball. I'm not as super athletic as all the other guys. I'm not as tall as some of these other guys in my position. So I had to actually work really hard to get to that point. It wasn't just handed to me. I had to work for it.
Mhm. Definitely. And so I know we're kind of going through like a timeline type thing. I wanted to kind of look at like a timeline, like dun 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 dun. And then just like I know you say you went to Tennessee, went to Nashville. How was that just the experience of like going to college and kind of experiencing that new and being away from home for the first time? How was that for you, like being away from home for the first time?
For me, I was ready. I was ready. 'Cause
Mm,
I just feel like I'm the type of person. I love change. I love what now. I love change. I didn't realize I like change back then, but I like just not. I don't like being in a box. I feel like
mm.
Dothan, like back home, I just feel like I'm in a box. So like
You was
I got that.
actually in the circle, not a box.
I feel like I got all I could out of Dothan. Like there's no more I can do here. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to spread my wings, see what else out there. Because I really love freedom. It's something
Mhm,
I want to have in my life. Freedom to do, try, and see different things. I was ready. Like, as soon as I got done, when I graduated, I packed my bags. I was ready to go. But it was definitely a challenge at first, man. Just coming to a place I don't know anybody at all, no family, no friend, no nothing here. Like
mhm.
solo, coming here by myself into a new environment. And, you know, going to college, going to play ball in college and stuff. It was just a lot of newness, man. So that was kind of challenging. But yeah, I was ready for it, honestly.
And so I like the word you said, newness. Do you feel like just that newness of kind of experiencing the new, going away, from home, from Alabama to Tennessee? Do you feel like that newness has allowed you, like, has allowed you to grow in just different parts of like your career or different parts of your life? Just really accept that newness.
Oh yeah, for sure, man, for sure. Cause it kind of showed me like, dang, things can and will change, and you just gotta embrace it. Like so, because I never thought I'd be in Nashville, whatever. Like, I didn't even know what Nashville was for real. I ain't gonna lie to
Yeah.
you. I get the name from my kids, like Nashville, Tennessee, and then what all the fucking country people at? Like, what is? I ain't never Tennessee was never on my radar. Like I forgot that was a state. You asked me Tennessee, I'm like that's a good question. East Coast, I have no clue. So like,
Yeah.
just coming here it's just crazy what God and life would take you. Like just come to this place and experience all this stuff. And I've been living here for a decade now. And it's crazy when I go home and kind of reminisce and go back. Like, dang, like, I remember being here. Now I'm here. Now I'm in a different city, different state. Like, I feel like I'm a Nashvilleian now because I've been here for so long. But you know, for real, like I've been here for a
Mhm.
decade. I don't feel like I'm from Alabama. Like you ask me where I'm from now, I say I'm from Nashville. You know what I mean? When I first got up, I was like, I'm from Alabama, blah blah blah. Now I'm like, you ask me, I'm from Nashville. Because I've been here for so long. So it's just crazy I had to have that experience, man, and go through that. And I'm ready for my next phase. Honestly, I'm ready to see where else God can take, me, where else I can move to.
Definitely. Speaking of your next phase, we kind of talked about it like in the first episode. Tell us about your next phase. So you got to your K-12, K-12, higher ed, as far as like undergrad, currently
Mhm.
working on your master's, like you said the last episode. Tell us about that process. And also one thing too, I want to kind of serious about how your experiences as like through life has made you want to pursue your masters and what you're getting your masters in.
Okay, that's a good question. So so definitely, man, I feel like you asked the first question again. I'm sorry.
So basically, I said, let me see,
Yeah,
let
I
me
do.
think about.
I got caught on that.
Yeah. So basically, I'm not sure what my first question was. I was going to kind of be honest,
Was
but
that
basically, what I was saying is like, what made you want to start your masters in the area that you get a masters in, and your experiences like of growing, like your experiences of life. What made you want to make what made it a full circle moment for you?
And I really feel like my whole life, man, like I talked about earlier, just having all that anxiety, insecurities, man. And naturally, when I got older, it kind of got worse because now I'm like really had to deal through life on my own, like with
Mm-hmm.
no parent there, with mom, with grandma, with anybody there to like kind of fall back on when things got tough and hard. So I had to kind of go through things on my own in my own way, and it's tough, especially in this day and age, man. When they don't make things easy, it's like you got to work a full time job, 5 days a week, 8 hours, and it takes a lot out of you, man. You don't really have time for you to really reflect and work on yourself. So I'm just
Yeah.
like I was beating my head against a wall, and sometimes it's like going and going and going and going. And so I was like, man, my mental health got so terrible at one point. I'm like always depressed, tired, anxious. Like I was afraid to leave the house sometimes. I just didn't want to experience. Like it was just too much. Man, it's too much. Like what is going on? So I had kind of like I was trying all these different things, nothing was working. And like I kind of don't know how I got on like trying to like learn about mental health 'cause I never thought about it. Like growing up, I don't have conversations about that. Back when we was kids, man, mental health, anxiety, people call you crazy, you say you depressed. What's wrong with you?
Mm-hmm.
Depressed. You know what I mean? So like I never really like looked into that stuff until like, I want to say like 4 or 5 years ago. I started like kind of I was like, man, 'cause I'm the type of person I like to know what's going on with us. Like, I'm having all these issues. I'm so tired. So nervous and anxious all the time. Like, what's really going on with me? So I kind of delve into that, and it kind of took me back, learning more about anxiety, depression disorders, things like that. And like then I started like looking more into that, and I see how prevalent it is. Like it's just not just me. Like so many other people dealing with it. Like, you have a conversation. Like I probably say like I'm just throwing this out there. Like 1 in 10 people you talk to, probably gonna be like, yeah, they going through some type of anxiety or depression thing. You know what I mean? Like, so it's kind of very prevalent, but we don't really talk about it. We talk about it more now, but it's still not as talked about as it should, and normalized as it should. Like people go through this, deal with this, and you need a lot of times you need help. A lot of stuff you deal with is harder to kind of face on your own. You need people there. You need someone there. And I was lucky. I had people like you in my life, and my other friends and family to help me through that. But I was like, man, you know, I I feel like I could definitely help other people like this too. So I was like trying to think going back to school because I got my bachelor's, my BA in criminal justice. So I was like, man, after going through all that, that's not what I want to do. Like, I don't want to work in the system. I don't want to work in the system is not helping, just hurting people. I want to actually help people. So I had to go back and kind of analyze what I want to do. I know people like you kept telling me go back get your master's, man. I'm like, in what? I'm not the type of person to do things just to do it. Like I like what am I doing this for? Like what I really want to do. So I kept going back and forth with it. I think like, man, mental health stuff is something I really like. I could be good at. I'm a good listener. I'm good at understanding things. God bless discernment. But I was like, do I really want to do that? Like, they don't really make that much money. And I'm like, you know what I mean? I don't know. So I kept going back and forth. Like, I'll say good 2 years. I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, I guess I could do this. I'm trying to find any other master's program to do. I'm looking at business. I'm looking at freaking engineering, all stuff I just don't care about. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
it sounds good, but I don't care about it. I can't see myself going through 2, 3, 4 years of school just to make some money. I don't care about that. I'm like, what do I really care about? So I kept bringing me back to mental health, man. And then I had to sit down, I had to talk to myself and God. He was like, this is what I want you to do. So when I finally just, I think, last December, like last year, I put my application in, through the whole process, and finally got accepted. And started last December, man. It's just been a roller coaster since then, but a good one. Like, I really feel like I've grown so much just starting that process, man, and learning so much about myself. Just seeing once I really feel like I was walking on the path God had, life just
Mhm.
got a whole lot.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, like you said, it's doing something that has meaning behind it, and something that goes hand in hand with your why. What's your why? Like, why are you living, and your meaning behind life, and something that's gonna make you feel fulfilled every day. going back to that
Right.
word fulfillment, that joy. And you've been in that space, and just knowing that, the type of person that you are, who, is a very caring person, someone who, who's someone who is, very, very, transparent, someone who's very like, Trail is a very like he's very very selfless in a lot of ways, and this started back in back in high school. I might have shared on another episode before, but someone who truly wanted to help people no matter what. And I remember just being young and being a boy, a teenager, and I'm over here crying I'm in my bed crying like because I'm sad about life and sad about what's going on in my life and things ain't going my way. And Trail was like the very calming, teenager, like, bro, you'll be okay, bro. You're gonna get through it, man. You're gonna do, amazing things. And, to have a friend like that who wasn't like, bro, you so lame for crime, bro, you so whack, this and that. But instead was like the opposite of that. I just knew that, you would do something that would, empower, uplift other people. So, like I said, that's why I really, wanted to let back then when I, talked to you about that journey, like, hey, do the masters. That I knew if you in that space, you're gonna be able to do some some tough things. My voice went out. Give me a second. But yeah,
Yeah. Appreciate it, man. I just, it's crazy. I didn't even when you bring this stuff. Like in my mind, I'm like, that's what I'm supposed to. I'm your friend. Like I should be there
yeah,
for you. Like that's how I view it. Like just what I am, what I should do. Like so I don't view it as like being really caring. Like damn, I'm really that care. Like me, I'm just being there for you. Like being your friend. Like I see you
yeah,
crying. Like I don't want you down. Like because I see, I always saw the potential in you. So I like definitely want to help you if I could. So like my mind is just who I am. Like I always feel like, I took that adage, that old proverb saying of, treat others how you want to be treated. So like I was grinding, I was going through a hard time. I want you to console me. I want you to put me down. That was gonna make me feel worse. So
yeah.
like hugging it. Okay. But
Oh yeah,
one of those moms, whatever. But yeah, definitely wanna just that's just who I am. And I had to realize that too, man. I'm an empathetic person. God bless me for that. And a lot of times in my life I was like I didn't want that. I was like, man, I really hate being empathetic. I really hate
yeah,
being so sensitive and feeling all these emotions and feeling everybody else's emotions. Like, man, it's making me a weaker person, bringing more stress to my life, and making me have to carry a lot of other burdens. But I had to realize that really it's a blessing to have that, man. I'm empathetic. I can feel what you're feeling and kind of help guys you through that. Cause what you feeling, I probably felt too. I'm probably feeling right now. And we can
mhm,
relate to that, and help each other. And so that's a really blessing to have that and be that. And so like once I really started realizing that, I kind of took ownership of that. Like, yes, I'm a sensitive person. That don't mean like I'm less of a man or less of a human being. Like, no, it just means I'm in tune with my feelings, my senses. I'm tuned with the people in the world around me. That's a good
definitely like you said, man. Like really, like taking those things in. I like to think of those things as like superpowers. When you like certain way, people kind of do like, oh no, don't be that way at all. But those are your things those are your superpowers that that you were given. And so that's the reason why you're here, is to use those superpowers. And everybody has a superpower at what at certain things. But once you have that superpower, like give your all at it and really like, what I'm saying, use it, because your superpower is here to be used to impact others in some way. And so like I said earlier, man, like the importance of you like being in my life at that time like gave me so much energy compared to if important compared to if it was the opposite. Because before, like I even moved to Alabama and met you, you know, I was like I had the opposite. I had like, oh, you want to go do this? Oh, you're not smart enough. These type of things, those type of friends. But when I met you, it was like, okay, like this is a friend who who got my back. It's my brother. I'm like, I'm gonna do the same thing for him. You know what I'm saying? He making sure I'm good. And so for me, I was like, this dude right here is a very caring person. This dude right here is selfless. But also you somebody who just, you actually like care, you actually listen. And that's hard to find, especially like friends and all that stuff like that. So I know just the impact that you would have in so many different people's lives by allowing them to share their lives with you, allowing them to, break down the trauma, the things that they've been through in their life, so that you're able to like help them get through that and help them grow and be a part of their growth. So, like I said, I commend you just on that, taking that step. Because I remember when you said before, like when we when you told me, what you got your undergrad degree in. And I remember I was like, did Trell ever say that he wanted to do something around that? I don't never remember that, but I don't never remember like in high school you saying that. But I know just hearing you, but this makes sense. You know what I'm saying? And so seeing that sometimes we don't really know until it's like a moment. There's like now it makes sense. Like it makes sense that you was the person that you was back in high school because now it makes sense what you about to do in the space that you about to be in. You know, so those make sense moments if that makes sense. Well, if that makes sense, yeah.
Hopefully, it's crazy when you look back. That's why you need people in your life to kind of see that. Because in my mind, that's just me, being a good person. Excuse me, I genuinely care about you, so of course I'm gonna be that. But like you said, it was just like God so many different ways. Like, hey, this is the type of career you can have, the type of person you're gonna be. And I can see that, but like people like you can see that because you looking from outside in. I'm in my own mind. Like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing with my life. But the answer was always there in front of me. So, but I had to really sit down in myself and realize what I wanted to do and what I want to be in life to kind of get there. And once I did that, like I said, like once I really started walking that path, man, really started like listening to God and like following like what He want me to do in this world, in my life, and start like just falling in place, man. I feel like so much at peace now. Just on this path, on this journey, and like, it's such a blessing, man. I want, but I definitely want to get there without people like you pushing. It's like you definitely pushed me to go back to school, start this process. You definitely pushed me to do a lot of things in my life. A lot of hard conversation I had with him. He's just going, being that. Like, he called, tell me I'm a caring friend. He's probably more caring than that. Like he's always been there. I probably made the same mistake 50 times. This dude's still there. Like,
Big brother.
he don't want to learn, but he will always be there. Like, yeah, he was still checking me, still correct me, but like he still was in there. He still was there. Like he wasn't like, yeah, well, you just don't get it, man. I get you. Like he still was there, encouraging me. No matter what decision I made, he still was there, uplifting me, making sure I was good. So I always appreciate that.
Definitely, bro. Like I said, it's I always think we always talk about just like being there for somebody because if you're there for somebody, then they could be there for somebody else. And so, we always been those type of people. And that's why we kind of in our spaces that we in now, the space I'm in, the space you in. It's the spaces where we can truly like be our authentic selves and really impact some lives. And I wish we would have known that back in like high school. We could have been like impact lives, and have our own like company type thing back then.
Crazy because, like you said, man, like it's when you a kid, you don't really think about stuff like that. And especially
Mhm.
now in school, they don't teach us stuff. They don't allow us to think like that. We already in this mode. You got to find a job that's gonna make you a lot of money. Blah blah blah. Instead of looking for a job, like what are you passionate about? What are your skills? Set? What can you actually do? What do you actually want to do in your life?
Mhm. But I think the biggest thing too is really like looking deep inside, yourself, and like I said, and the thing I said you said earlier about just kind of looking, kind of basically jotting those things down. It's like, okay, who's Trail? Like, what am I trying to do? What things kind of made me into this person? What things have made me want to do this, get into this space? And like I said, you're in the space that's you're gonna flourish in because once you have a space, space that you is meaningful to you, boy,
Yeah,
you start to be driven like you start to be driven by purpose, and when you're driven by purpose, I mean, you bring so much more energy and excitement compared to somebody who doesn't have that in
yeah.
that space. So, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing you in that
Oh yeah,
space.
man. I appreciate it, man. Like I said, I appreciate all the support, man. You being there, like encouragement means a lot, man. And keep, 'cause, you know how this journey is, man. Some days you have your good days, some days you have your bad days. Some days you're like, man, can I actually do this? Just having people in your life reminding you, like, yeah, you got this. You can do this. This is something that you were made for this. You know what I mean? So like, just having people like you encouraging me, man, being there, it means a lot. I appreciate it.
Definitely, bro. So I'm gonna like with this like my last question before we end the podcast. So earlier I asked you, what would you tell your younger self? You say you were going through those experiences. You say you were going through trying to learn your identity, and learn the things that make you to the person you are today. right now you're about to be a mental health counselor. We're gonna speak into existence. What would you tell your older self?
My older self, I would just, I would just tell my older self, be present. Make sure you enjoy all the moments, not just the big ones, little ones, because you never know when guys gonna call you home and when it's your time. Make sure you enjoy your time with your friends and family, love
Hmm.
with yourself. Enjoy those moments. Don't overlook the everyday things, little things. Sometimes I can get like that. I'll be so goal oriented. I kind of forget like the day to day things. Just making sure I'm aware and grateful for the things I have in life.
Hmm. One thing I want to add to that, to older self, I'm gonna tell my older self on the next episode. Tell your
Yeah,
older self like that you're gonna learn so much now that's gonna help him in the future.
yeah, sure. That's what we're doing this for, man. We doing
Yeah.
this. All the pain, the heartache, the tough times are for to build that person we trying to be in the future. That person's not, that person's not born is created. You're not born that person. You have to choose to create that person.
Yeah. You're right, definitely. But I definitely think that, those are some, great story. Trey, you have a great story. The story is still going on. You have so many more chapters in life. That God's gonna continue to work in your life, and super excited to see you to continue to grow as a father, continue to see you grow as a man, see you grow as a husband one day, and all these different areas. See you grow as a counselor, even have your own counseling space one day. Super excited about that, man. And like I said, I'm thankful to have you as a friend. I'm thankful to have you as a brother. For someone who is going through this journey with you in life is amazing. So thank you for sharing, Trail. Like I said, for our listeners, for our young listeners, you need somebody who's gonna talk to you, who's gonna pour into your life. Trail's that guy. Um, who gonna listen to you, who gonna break it down for you. They gonna build you back up. He's that person. So definitely, man. Is there anything you want to say to our listeners, Trail, before we end the podcast?
Man, I just want to say one is it's been a blessing to have a podcast platform we can come on and like kind of share our story in our lives with. But more importantly, man, it's just I'm just so grateful to be where I'm at in life and the things I'm doing. And just if I could just say one last thing to our viewers, man, just it's never too late to start whatever path you want to do in life. I know you probably hear that all the time. It sounds so cliche now, but it's not. Like your life, every day is a new day. So if you what you did yesterday didn't work, try something new. Don't put yourself in a box and feel like you got to stay in that box. You can leave the box whenever you want to, but you got to choose to. And every day you get a choice for the person you're gonna be. But you gotta sit down and kind of figure out who that person is first before you make any decision.
Mhm.
So like just take time to really sit with yourself, know yourself, know what you want to do. Intentions matter, like Julian said earlier. Like being purposeful, being intentional. Just being having purpose and intention with your life is gonna change a lot of things.
Definitely, Trail. Well, like I said, we appreciate you sharing your story, man. Your story is amazing. Um, for our listeners, just make sure you really embrace your story. You go on your journey right now in life. Um, you'll have those ups and downs like we talked about earlier, but just continue to move forward. Um, but like I said, at every single podcast, make sure you tell your friends about the Silent Switch podcast, and they tell their friends, and then they tell their friends. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Silent Switch podcast. Make sure you follow us on Instagram. And like I said, we appreciate y'all. And hey, make sure y'all join us next week on the Silent Switch podcast. Peace.